Hey there. Today, we're going to cut right through all the hype around AI. Seriously. Instead of trying to keep up with every confusing headline and shiny new tool, we're going to build a super simple framework so you can actually get what's going on and, really stay ahead of the curve. Let's get into it.
So, if you're feeling totally overwhelmed by how fast AI is moving, I get it. You are definitely not alone. It seems like every single week there's a new model, a new update, some crazy new benchmark that's supposed to change everything. It can honestly feel like you're in a race you just can't win.
And this feeling, it's completely valid. So many people feel like by the time they finally wrap their head around one thing, it's already old news. It's this cycle that can make you feel like you're falling further and further behind, no matter how hard you try to keep up.
But here's the secret, okay? The truth is, most of that is just noise. Chasing every single new release, whether it's the latest from ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, that is not the right way to go. The fundamentals, the actual core ideas behind it all, they matter way more. And guess what? They change a whole lot slower. So to really get a grip on all this, let's build that simple framework I was talking about. We're going to decode the buzzwords you hear all the time. And we'll start with the biggest, most fundamental shift in how we tell computers what to do. Okay, check this out, because this is the crucial shift. Traditionally, programming worked like the stuff on the left. We gave a computer a set of explicit rules, the logic, and it spit out an answer. But with machine learning, we completely flip that on its head. Now look at the right side. We give the computer tons and tons of data, which includes the answers, and it teaches itself to figure out the logic. That's the core idea powering all of modern AI.
So let's start at the very top. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is just the big umbrella term. Think of it as any technology that lets a computer do something we'd normally think a human needs to do, like recognizing a face, understanding what you're saying, or looking at a picture and knowing what's in it.
This slide lays it out perfectly. It's like a set of Russian nesting dolls. AI is the biggest doll, the whole field. Inside that, you've got machine learning. That's the whole learning from data idea we just talked about. Then a smaller doll inside that is deep learning, which uses these complex structures kind of like a brain. And right at the very center, the smallest doll is generative AI, or GenAI, which is what's creating all the new text and images from tools like ChatGPT. Now, I know this might all sound a bit abstract, but you are already using this stuff every single day. And a lot of times, you probably don't even realize it. Just think about the things you use from the moment you wake up.
I mean, every time you unlock your phone with your face, that's AI doing computer vision. When Netflix suggests a show you might like, or Amazon recommends a product, that's a machine learning algorithm that's learned your taste. Even Google Maps predicting traffic or Gmail catching spam before it hits your inbox, it's all AI, just working quietly in the background.
But see, those are mostly passive things, right? The AI is just doing stuff for you. The real power, the real magic, comes when you actively use an AI tool to solve a specific nagging problem. So let's look at one that tackles a problem pretty much everyone has: meetings. Okay, so this is an AI meeting assistant called Granola. And what makes it so great is how subtle it is. Unlike a lot of other tools, there's no weird, awkward bot that joins your call. It just records your computer's audio right from your system, so it works on Zoom, Meet, Teams, you name it. And then it automatically transcribes and summarizes the entire conversation.
The whole process is incredibly simple. It records silently in the background, gives you a live transcript you can look at during the call if you want, and then the real magic happens. After the call is over, it uses these templates, it calls them recipes, to instantly generate summaries, pull out all the action items, or even draft a follow-up email for you. This is a perfect example of that generative AI we saw in the family tree. It's not just organizing info, it's creating something brand new and useful.
So tools like Granola can feel like pure magic. But how? How does an AI actually learn to do any of this stuff? Let's take a quick peek under the hood at the 3 main ways machines get taught. It really boils down to 3 main methods. First up, you've got supervised learning. This is where we give the model labeled data, like a million emails that are already marked spam or not spam, and it learns from those correct answers. Second is unsupervised learning. Here, we just dump in a bunch of unlabeled data, and it has to find patterns all on its own, like grouping news articles by topic. And finally, you have reinforcement learning, which is a totally different beast. Yeah, this is where an AI agent literally learns by doing. It takes an action in some environment, like making a move in a chess game. If it's a good move, it gets a reward. If it's a bad one, it gets a penalty. And over millions and millions of tries, it starts to figure out the strategy that gets it the most rewards. This is how AI has got so good at complex games, and it's used in some robotics too.
And honestly, the best way to think about it is it's a lot like training a dog, right? When your dog does the right thing, like sitting when you say sit, you give it a treat. That's a reward. And that reward reinforces the correct behavior. That's the exact same principle at work here, just, happening at a massive computational scale.
Okay, so we've covered the what, the how, and the why. But what does all of this mean for you? How do you actually use this information to stay ahead of the game without all the stress?
This right here, this is the most important takeaway of all. The specific tools, the brand names, the companies making the headlines, all of that will constantly change. But the fundamental concepts we just walked through, like the different ways an AI can learn, that's the foundation, and it's not going anywhere. If you focus on understanding these core ideas, you'll never feel left behind.
And this leads us to what might be the single most valuable role right now, the AI generalist. This isn't the person who's deep in the weeds coding the algorithms. No, this is someone who understands the fundamentals well enough to be the bridge, the translator between the tech and a real-world problem. They know which tool to grab for which job and why. That right there is the skill you want to build.
So as the AI world keeps spinning and evolving, just remember this. The key isn't to chase every new shiny object. It's to build your foundation of understanding. The tools are temporary, the principles are permanent. So the real question you got to ask yourself is, what's your strategy going to be?